Hey everyone, we're just under 2 weeks up to Halloween, and definitely running into a bit of a snafu with the movie I want to talk about this weekend. I thought I'd implement one of my backup plans I had on the table, so I thought I would talk about the one Resident Evil live action adaptation I have not yet, and been meaning to for a while. And while not universally loved by any means, it definitely has been seen by many, myself included, as a vast improvement over the Jovovich verse, as well as the is being much better than the Netflix event series that would follow afterward. And even did alright enough that they're actually developing more in this verse, so here's an informal video in defense of Resident Evil. Welcome to Raccoon City. The film was directed by Johannes Roberts, a self-proclaimed fan of the franchise, and I can honestly tell by the way the film plays out. I mean, sure, there are some decisions that I personally would not have made, including some of the alterations made to individual characters and adapting both the first and second games with elements of a third at the same time. But at its core, it's much closer to what I had in mind for a live action adaptation of the franchise. As video game adaptations go, especially in more recent years, it may not have liked as much as Detective Pikachu or the Sonic films. However, I will say that if I were asked how I would make a live action featuring the Resident Evil adaptation, this is actually the closest to what I had in mind. Instead of being hammered in submission, it's more of a slow burn in terms of pacing, and it definitely captures two of the major storylines, like with the mansion incident in the first game and the chaos in Raccoon City in the second. And and the cast includes Chaos Cordelerio, Hannah John Common, and Neil McDonough. Now I'm working on several video game adaptations he starred in, and also he's actually done a lot of voice working games themselves as well, to varying degrees, running the gamut of everything from the Injustice games to even the infamous Rogue Warrior. He plays the role of Birkin, and even though the final form does have a lot of your typical CG overkill you might see in a lot of third acts lately, most of the film is definitely an ideal antidote to who the loud and overbearing nature of the Jovovich movies, where it definitely unfolds much more deliberately, pacing over an hour 47 minutes, and definitely also has very much a vibe of being a more or back to basics kind of effort. Which is not only closer in style and tone to the first couple games, but also oh to the original horror films as inspiration as well, which also includes some of the goofier aspects where the bit where the trucker crashes his truck and walks in the front door of the police station while he's on fire. I actually got a kind of a chuckle out of that, albeit not for the reasons they intended. It's also a film, to my understanding, had a production that was troubled, to put it mildly. Granted, it would hardly be the first video game adaptation to befall this fate in the franchise, but there were a lot of limitations in place because of the pandemic, and they also ended up cutting the budget in half before filming began. It was originally planned to be $50 million. It ended up being $25 million, and but in a way that actually worked out to the film's benefits, given how it did at least manage to make its money back worldwide and also do solid business at home. They're actually developing not only a sequel taking inspiration from Resident Evil 4, or with the cast signed on for more projects, but also they've actually, there's talk about adapting RE0. I had to think about how I want to play Rebecca Chambers in that one. And admittedly, when it came out in November 2021, there's been some stiff competition, including but not limited to Disney's Encanto, The Eternals, or some of Sony's own stablemates such as Ghostbusters Afterlife, No Time to Die, Venom Big Carnage, and the year's biggest hit, albeit it shared with Marvel, Spider-Man No Way Home. And it definitely, there are some beats that I'll admit kind of surprised me, given its own stinger, where they flip the script on usually it's Wesker being double agent and Ada trying to get to the bottom of things regarding umbrellas doing laundry. But in the stinger, it's just the other way around, and with Ada being double agent and Wesker, her not really getting the chance to portray the other members of the team. And even though Roberts is not my favorite horror director by any means, he definitely understands how the medium works and how to make the most of an atmosphere, which is definitely something I appreciate. I mean, at some point I stopped expecting perfection from lot of adaptations of these material and just started to look for decency and, at the very least, tonal consistency. I mean, it's hard for me to really feel too much for Alice being like a clone of a terminally ill head of an umbrella and then immediately go back to an action film as climax that's almost like Michael Bay from Timu directed this. While the status of the next adaptation is unknown, maybe the filmmakers and actors are under her non-disclosure agreement, or things have kind of been just a little bit quiet since the strikes last year here. But I definitely will be keeping an eye on the production and best I can, especially since the Netflix adaptation was a non-starter. I'm just glad that Lance started completing his work on the John Wick franchise meant so that would not be his final acting role, so there's that. As for Miss Jovovich and her husband, it will not be the last time I deal with them either, or count on that. But first, there's unfinished business I have with another piece of work that I've been meaning to take care of that is related to my pursuits in Scooptober. That'll be all for now. I'll see you all again soon. Take care, everyone.